Hello, and welcome back to the Faye Banner Review, where we talk about Aya scraping below the metaphorical barrel, although to call it a barrel instead of a giant hole is being quite generous. Today, we have a brand new Awakening banner featuring one new Awakening unit, kinda, sorta, maybe, and two other units everyone thought already had base forms. I'll get into that very soon. And as per tradition, I will be using this coveted line graph that may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day to rank the brand new Awakening banner. Today's ranking will be based on how many Awakening banners they have left in them. And if you want more crash outs in your day-to-day life, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Wait, that's spoilers. Forget I said that. First up on the Awakening banner, we have Noir, and I'm kinda surprised they gave her the base version this quickly. Well, I say quickly as if she wasn't the unit waiting the longest between her seasonal and base form, but I figured her ninja alt was there to pad time since it's only 6 months old. But hey, now we have one of the 3 missing base forms filled out, so that's neat. Or should I say, kinda neat. Let's see. Noir comes with Arcane Hex Bow, which is a flying effective bow. Every bow has flying effect in this. I don't know why I read that out every time. Then inflicts the Discord status globally at the start of each turn, grants a bunch of stats, true stats, even more true stats, and a special jump of 1 before the unit's first attack. She also comes with a pure FC slot in Blood and Thunder, which inflicts -5 attack, speed, defense, and res penalties, fatal smoke, and 10 true damage taken on foes within 3 rows and columns during combat, can get an extra 60% pierceable damage reduction, and 9 true damage reduction during combat, full no follow-up, 7 HP after combat, and if she initiates combat while the foe has a penalty, or if she has the anathema status, she ignores the foe specials during combat. Honestly, that's not too shabby. Obviously, the Arcane is just gonna Arcane. Whoa, where have I seen that one before? At least it has something newish in it with the Discord debuff, but that's really the extent of Arcane diversity these days, which is kinda lame. At least the weapons are great, good, decent. They're just decent. Blood and Thunder is definitely doing all the heavy lifting, and it's pretty decent all things considered. Although I said the Arcane was decent, this is better than decent. It has a good amount of support and combat capabilities that take Noir from a generic bow unit to a slightly less generic bow unit. The ignoring special aspect could be really good with the right teammates like Brave support, or even damage reflection from Black Knight, or it's just Black Knight, he's extremely stupid. That said, her combat capabilities might be a bit shaky since she's really just relying on nullifying specials and not much else. Although for what it's worth, pierceable damage reduction combined with true damage reduction will always have the highest ceiling for tanking, period. And even if her 60% is halved to 30%, that's still a decent chunk of damage reduction. But it also doesn't matter if her damage output isn't enough, or if the foe has the Erica ring, which is pretty common on saviors like the Snakes and Black Knight. It's just Black Knight, he's extremely stupid. Noir also comes with other cool inheritables like Curve Shot and Speed Taker, those are pretty cool, but also a brand new A slot in Attack Speed Hex Edge, which grants Anathema to the user, 7 attack and speed during combat, 5 true damage, and 50% damage reduction piercing. It's fine, yeah. The only thing that kinda sucks is Attack Speed Hex Edge being infantry locked, because it's, you know, it's good. It's technically better than Slide, but I feel like it didn't really need to be locked all that much. The damage reduction piercing is also just fine if you don't need the guaranteed follow-up at least, but maybe their logic was that giving out pierceable damage reduction like that to a bunch of other archetypes would have been way too good. You know, Naga forbid we give damage reduction piercing to Summer Waltz, I guess. Vocabs are so bad. And other than that, that sure is rearmed Noir. She doesn't seem too shabby overall, but I do kind of worry about her ability to defeat saviors in general. Maybe reflex support will fix that issue. Alongside a new weapon, an A slot, and special, and maybe some other allies. Can you tell I'm not confident in what she does whatsoever? Next, there's Grima, and this sure is the bottom of the barrel, isn't it? You know, it's crazy because I think this is the first time they're being addressed as Grima instead of Robin, which is weird because a lot of the other Robin alts are supposed to be Grima, I think. So are those alts Robin alts or Grima alts? Spoilers, I don't care, it's the same stuff regardless. Let's see, female Grima has Despairing Breath, which grants adaptive damage in 3 visible res, grants Rally Spectrum and follow-up denial to herself and allies at the start of both phases, inflicts upwards of -14 attack, defense, and res on foes during combat, gets 20% true damage reduction and true damage based on her res stat, and restores 7 HP to herself after combat. I'm gonna be real, she seems very dead on arrival, which is fine by me. I want her dead. Killed. I want her waking up in the morgue. Actually, I don't want her waking up at all. I want her 6 feet under. Bury her in the earth. Let the worm she loves so much decompose her. Return her to the soil so she can be reborn. So that she can be killed again! Okay, but back on the topic, she's not really that good. And that's not me being a hater. No. Well, not at the moment, at least. It's less about her ability to tank and more on the fact that she doesn't really have a lot of notable aspects about her. No slaying is definitely a massive standout because for whatever reason in the big 2025, they dropped a premium unit without slaying. Even Rafal had slaying. Not to mention her combat effects are just really mediocre for the most part. Follow-up denial and guard is a really weird combination, but at least she has rally spectrum. Wait, is that why she didn't have slaying? Okay, I've just been pointing out her many awful, stupid, poor traits, but honestly, when you ignore all the things that make female Grima really bad as a unit, she's actually a really good unit. She can protect allies from melee threats and slow down specials. In a game where every notable melee threat kills everything and has a bunch of special manipulation gimmicks anyway. Female Grima also comes with Armored Glacier, which is the res-based version of Blaze, Defense Res Scowl, Wily Fighter, and Attack Res Briar Near Save, which I believe is our first Briar Near Save skill, period. It's a pretty good amount of stuff for the normal pool in general. Well, maybe not the special, but everything else is nice. What else do you want me to say? It's just nice fodder. And other than that, that sure is Grima. It's not so apparent like Rafal, but it really does feel like the standard filler premium unit since she's in the normal pool. That's not the worst since she has nice, usable, non-Rafal skills at least. I still cannot believe they give this dude attack, defense, scowl, and no B slot. Then we have another Grima, and oh, brother! I hate you! It wasn't enough to get one Grima? Nope, of course not. We had to get both, because of course we did. I know Awakening is struggling on options, but you had options. You had options. They were there. Non-Robin options, mind you, but they had options. Let's see. Male Grima comes with Obstinate Breath Plus, which grants adaptive damage, Spectrum 5, Guard, and 15% attack-based true damage reduction on the foe's first hits. Well, there you have it. Here, take it. You know the drill. There's not a lot to say about a generic unit. They just kind of exist in the world where everybody has a billion pure F effects. Which is fine by me. This is more content for all the Robin fans, plus he's easily mergeable, so there's always that, right? But I know some of y'all are gonna find a way to complain, and I don't want to hear it! Also, the weapon is from New Year Kana, which, you know, that's nice enough. Male Grima also comes with Glacies, Attack Risk Scowl, and Slick Fighter 3, which is actually really nice. Slick Fighter 4 is so expensive as it is, and getting the bridge fodder for it makes it passing it around so much easier. Definitely one of the highlights from this unit. Well, really the only highlight, honestly. He's still kind of bad. And other than that, that sure is Grima. Again, at the very least, he's a dragon armor, so he's plenty usable if you could get him the arcane and shield fighter. Melee armors, even at their worst, are only so bad. But that also contradicts what I just said a bit ago about how he's kind of bad. I'm taking that back. This suit is washed.
She kind of bad, though. Is that Frost?
And last, there's Tharja, and yeah, that lines up with the theme of the banner at least. It's not surprising seeing another Tharja so soon, despite what I said about Noir earlier. Tharja sells, so they're gonna reprint her as often as Robin. Okay, maybe not that often. Let's see. Attuned Tharja comes with Kindred Tome, which is a slaying tome that grants 5 attack and speed penalty neutralization, and 7 true damage to allies during combat, as well as Spectrum 14, attack and speed penalty neutralization, upwards of 25 true damage and 15 true damage reduction based on active bonuses on herself and penalties on the foe, defensive null follow-up, 50% damage reduction piercing, and 7 HP after combat to herself. She also comes with a PRF slot in Already Dead, which grants a visible stat swing of Spectrum 9, grants Anathema and charge to herself and allies within 3 spaces at the start of each phase, special jumps based on the total number of allies with the Anathema status, upwards of 60 pierceable damage reduction, 9 additional true damage reduction, and if there are 2 or more allies with the Anathema status, then she disables the foe's specials during combat. That's a lot of words I just read. Because I purposely wrote it that way, but that, you know, let's not talk about that. I noticed that they also gave her the foe's special nullification gimmick, and it's probably the makeup for her lower BST in combat class. I'm wondering how far that'll take her against saviors at the very least, since she still has to get through several layers of true damage reduction. She does have a lot of true damage in her kit, so it's probably not the worst case scenario at the moment, but even if her combat falters, she still gives it a lot of support thanks to her weapon and bonus statuses. Yoink. Attuned Tharja also comes with Ice Wall, Speed Res Havoc, Deadly Miasma, and a brand new Echo skill in Crux Echo, which inflicts -3 attack, speed, defense, and res on foes within 3 rows and columns during combat, and those foes suffer a guaranteed follow-up as well. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like how Crux Echo is just stronger than every Crux C slot, but that just makes it worthwhile to run, which, you know, that's pretty cool. And, yeah, there's not really a lot else to say about the fodder side of things. It's just pretty solid inheritables overall. Too bad none of it's sticking in the main pool. Oh my god.
Listen, I'm happy for all the Grima and Tharja and Noir.
You know, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for all the people who like these characters.
I do not fall under any of this population.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I think you can like whatever you want. But I'm gonna hate all I want. I'm a hater. I'm
Okay, wait. No.
I might also consider making that entire stream into a video of its own, to be quite H. And other than that, that sure is Attuned Tharja. She contributes a lot of great support that a lot of teams would really appreciate, and her combat utility also seems really good too. Never mind, she has 16 defense. And 35 HP? Okay, she's not living anything. I don't care if you disable specials. You're made of paper. Actually, paper can take a hit better than you. This unit is not it. And now on the free-to-play side of things, we have a god-awful generic red tome, Exilis. He's god-awful and generic. Honestly, I kind of expected that, so there's not much that can be done about it. His weapon isn't too shabby, at least. It's got true damage and whatnot. That's pretty cool, right? It's basically just Snaking Bow, but on a red tome, but we also have Jetta's Inheritable, which grants way more true damage, so do with that what you will.
Death is a blessing.
Also, with Exilis being in the game, we now have all the votable Awakening characters in the game, which is really cool. I guess. The only units that don't have their base forms now are Vake and Kellum, which, you know, if the banner is any indication of their projected release dates, we're going to be waiting another 4 years for the minimum.
That actually seems like kind of good, Loki.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, sure, that's cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, sure. Tharja. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Double Grima. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Noir, cool. That one's cool. That one's cool. Double Grima? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Tharja? I don't know. I don't know. Overall, this banner sucks, dude. This banner sucks. And now that my throat is completely dead, I think it's time we rank the banner on the line graph that may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day. And would you look at that? The brand new Awakening banner has earned an infinity out of 10. On the line graph. Because there's no feasible way to rank infinity on a 10-point line graph that may or may not be a line graph, I'm just going to have the line extend beyond the graphic and maybe we'll remember that Awakening is there. But why infinity, you may ask? Realistically, what's stopping them from padding out Awakening banners forever and ever and ever? And you may be wondering to yourself, should I summon on the Awakening banner? And I've been enough of a hater in this video, so I'll just be straight with you. Probably not. The banner isn't the worst per se outside of the unit choices, but it's not outright you gotta go for it. The real highlights are Tharja and Noir because they contribute nice stuff at least. Tharja has a lot of support and good, decent, okay combat. It's just okay combat, which makes her a nice slot in for a lot of teams. Noir doesn't have the same support chops as Tharja, but she also has the Nullify Foes special gimmick, which, you know, for being an infantry with a better stat line, it might take her further in combat. The Grimas honestly aren't that great, but they're not unusable at least, because melee armors in general are pretty good. But if you're going to summon for any armor currently, then it should be Legendary Black Knight, because he's broken and he won't rerun till September. This has made my arena runs so difficult. I've got this desperate. I've gotten this desperate. But yeah, it's definitely a skippable banner if you aren't interested in any of the characters, TBH, 2BH, to be quite H. Now, if I could go back to being a hater for a second,